My name is Karishma Kuria, and today I'll be doing a paper review on optimized unit for brain tumor segmentation. Automatic brain tumor segmentation image processing is one of the most challenging tasks in the field of medical image processing. Gliomas, which is one of the most common type of tumor in human, is very challenging to diagnose and treat with just human efforts. So it has become very challenging to scan such kind of problems in humans and provide an explicit segmentation for that, so that we can come up with the right scan and provide the correct treatment for such problems. So how deep learning can help here? So in recent years, since doing manual segmentation of such tumor images require excellent medical expertise, uh, and since manual efforts lacks consistency and reproducibility, it's very strenuous and also prone to human errors. In recent years, there has been a great development in deep learning algorithms, which involves using deep learning neural networks inside computer aided semi automatic and automatic techniques to perform abundance of these medical image processing. So here unit are and fully convolutional networks are very commonly used architecture for doing the image segmentation of such problems. Their applications also involve image segmentation along with micro image segmentation. So the picture also shows depicts a convolutional neural network doing the classification for the animals. So in our study, we are doing extensive experiments to study an optimal unit variant and training schedule using the BRA-TS dataset. The most challenging problem with medical image segmentation or medical image are the amount of dataset we have for such for such problems. So here BRASAT provides a good amount of data with high quality data set which consists of multi-model MRI brain scans with corresponding segmentation masks. So in our study, we will be using we'll be doing multiple experiments to study the optimal unit variant and training schedule for by using the BRA-TS dataset. We have used five unit variants such as basic unit, residual unit, attention unit, and UNETR model. And we have done various experiment with different loss function deep supervision model to further optimize the and for models to further optimize the performance of these models using convolutional filters and using one hot encoded channels. So the dataset consists of 1251 brain MRI scans, which includes the segmentation annotation for tumor regions. It also includes a 3D volume volumes with dimensions of 240, 240, and 155. So here we have four types of classes, or you can say the annotation. So annotations are the machine learning process in which we label the data to show the outcome you want from your machine learning model to predict. So here we have four kind of annotations, four classes in the annotations, which are ED, necrotic tumor core, enhancing tumor, and background. Along with the annotation, we have four modularities here. So these are T1, T2 weighted, T2 flare, and T1 weighted. The following image shows an example of these four modularities from top left to bottom right, which are flare, T1, T1 GT, and T2. All So for data processing, We have done all the four modularities were stacked. So every example we are using PyTorch here, so we'll be using tensors. So every tensor is in the layout of CHWD. So here C refers to channels, H refers to height, W refers to width, and D refers to the depth. Also, every tensor has the shape of 240, 240, and 155. 4, 240, 240, and 155. So, and to remove the redundance, uh, voxels we have just removed and cropped them because they were of they were not holding any useful information, and they were present on the border of each volumes, so those were cropped. But generally, basically we can say that they were the noise. We have also done mean and standard deviation to normalize all the volumes. In addition to that, additional input channel was created, which will distinguish between the background voxels and the normalized voxels. So here we have used one hot encoding for foreground voxels, and then they both are put together to get the input data. Next is data augmentation. So what are the data augmentation techniques being used here? So what is data augmentation? So, since I already mentioned that the main issue with the medical uh, images or the medical problems is that we lack in the amount of data we have. So, here we have used these data augmentation techniques. So, data augmentation is a set of techniques to artificially increase the amount of data by generating new points from the existing data. So if we just can do some tweaks in the original data to generate good amount of data, so that we can use these this generated data to train the model, and that way more the training data set, the nicely the model will be trained. So here we have used biased, crop, zoom, flips, Gaussian noise, Gaussian blur, brightness, and contrast. So, as the name suggests, flip will be just flipping the images on the three axes which we have, like X, Y, Z individual. That will create good amount of data. The other one is brightness. It will basically increase with the probability of 0.15. An arbitrary sample is selected from the existing sample and multiply with its input voxels to just create different variation of the same image with different brightness. Similarly, contrast also, like an arbitrary sample is selected from from the data set and then multiplied with input voxels and then clipped to original range, so that a new image is created with varying contrast. Same goes with the zoom also. So in zoom, we generate new images by just multiplying the original image with the sampled value of the sample which we have taken. So next, let's discuss about the models which we will be doing experiment with. So as I described earlier, we'll be doing experiment with five models here. They all are They all are a convolutional network model. So the first one is U-Net. So as the name suggests, the model, if we see to the architecture also, it looks like U. So the U-Net architecture is divided into two parts. One is the encoder part. This is the encoder part. The other is the decoder part. So basically, the encoder's work is to compress the image, to compress the incoming image which is there in the data set, and the decoder then finds. So the encoder is transforming the input by reducing its spatial dimensions, and then the decoder is doing the unsampling, and it will give back us the original input shaped image. The additional two heads used will be deep supervision loss, which will be discussed later in the slides. Also, uh, here is the encoder part, and here this is the decoder part. So the encoder part consists of two transformational blocks. One is in dark blue and the other one is in light blue. So these transformational blocks consist of kernels, and strides to reduce the dimension by the factor of 2, and then leaky ReLU activation with negative slope of zero point 0.1 is applied to do the normalization. On the decoder side, we have three blocks. So the first one is a transport convolution and increase the spatial dimension by 2, and the other two have again the convolutional layers and the ReLU activation with negative slope to do the further concentration of the encoder feature map. Next, we have used SegResNet VA VAE. So SegNet. So this one is an extension of the U-Net. So it uses an additional VAE branch compared to the U-Net. So this architecture has here the green blocks is the ResNet like blocks with the group normalization, and the VAE branch which is in the decoder. It reconstructs the image, input image into itself, and is used during the training to regularize the shared encoders. So next we'll be using UNETR. So this architecture, instead of using the 3D convolution in the encoder, this architecture uses it just transforms the input image via multiple head self attentions block, known for the transfer. These are very much famous for the transformational model. So next we have attention U-Net. So attention U-Net is again the extension of U-Net. So this if this architecture contains an additional attention gate. So what happens is this additional attention gate is the transforming feature map from the encoder before the concatenation in the decoder block. See, so basically what happens is it learns this gate learns which regions of the encoder feature map are the most important, considering the context of the feature map from the previous decoder block. Then it generates external weights. So the weight value will range in the range of 0 to 1 and represent the attention level that the neural network is paying to that given pixel. Next we have used residual U-Net. So this is similar to the U-Net only. The additional residue, the only difference between the basic U-Net and the residual is the computational within the convolutional block. So these are whatever computation is happening here is the main feature which is different from residual U-Net and U-Net. Rest are the functionalities same. So now talking about the loss function. So all the three classes were here converted into three overlapping regions. The first one is the tumor core, representing class 1 and 4. The other one was enhancing tumor, representing class 4, and the third and the last one was whole tumor, which represented class 1, 2, and 4. So these are the overlapping classes. Also the loss function is designed based on classes. So those functions based on classes are used for the ranking calculation. So now the output feature will be mapped. The output feature map will comprise of three channels. So one channel per class. With then again it will be transformed using the sigmoid activation at the end. Next is deep supervision. So deep supervision was also used here. So what is deep supervision? Deep supervision basically is a technique where so deep supervision is a technique that helps with the better gradient flow by computing loss function on different decoder levels. So we have used that here to just see what effect it has on the performance of the models. And also we have used test time augmentation along which is used to increase the strength of the prediction. And also we have used the following schemes here. So it says that if the WT probability is less than 0.45, then the class will be 0. Similarly, if the TC probabilities are less than 0.5, the class will be 2, and so on. Again, we have also used sliding window inference here. So the size of the sliding window will be equal to the half will be equal to the size of the sample which we'll be using, the training patch. Also, we have overlapping adjacent windows here, and which will have the size half of the size of the patch, or which is being used for the training purpose. So, what are the results of the experiment which we did? So, as I already told, the implementation was done on PyTorch, and it was done by NVIDIA deep learning, and the repository is here for the code. Also, we have used Adam Optimizer. So, what is Adam Optimizer? It is an extension of stochastic gradient descent algorithm technique. So, it's an optimizer technique which is used for training learning models in deep learning. So, basically, it is very good for handling the noise or the sparse gradient problems, and because it combines good features of ADA grad and RMS prop algorithms. So in our experiment, we have used Adam Optimizer with the three different learning rate, which was 0.005 and 0.007 and 0.009, with 1000 epochs of training with the 0.001 weight decay. Also, we have used here k-mean initializer. So k-mean initializer, it is a weight initializing technique for neural networks which takes into account the non-linearity of activation function such as ReLU, CeLU, etc. So in our experiment, we have used this initializing technique to initialize weight for the 3D convolution network. We have also used five-fold cross validation, which is used for model evaluation. And then we have used the average to compare the performance for all the five models. So here is the result of the experiments we have done. So the first one refers to the average score for all the three classes with the five-fold which we did cross-validation, five-fold cross-validation, and the comparison is done for three of the architectures. So the inference from the first table is that it is clear from the first table that U-Net has performed the best among all the three, and also Sedgeres has also performed comparatively good. But the only problem with Sedgeres is that its training time is three times more compared to that of U-Net. So because of the additional VAE branch it has, so that's why U-Net has performed best. And for the other experiment, here we have the average dice score for all the three classes, which five-fold comparing the deep supervision, deep U-Net, and the channel modification, one hot technique which we are using, and the combination of all the modification applied together here. So this is the result for that. And the inference from the second table is that deep supervision has improved. Also, also the die score over the base has also improved. So this is the outcome of this. The third experiment was done to just check the average die score for all the three classes. Again, for five-fold comparison we have done. So we have used decoder attention here, deep supervision, residual connection, and focal loss as the factors to compare the models. So the inference from this is that the score over baseline U-Net with deep supervision is increased. So it is this 0.9149, and when used together with further other improvement techniques, it has increased significantly. So these all techniques can be used to increase the accuracy of the model. So what is the conclusion? So working with all the five models, it was clear that the uh, fifth one, the first one, which is the basic U-Net, has performed the best um, compared to all the other U-Net models which we used. So U-Net, the baseline U-Net has performed the well. Also, we have observed that we can increase or enhance the outcome of the basic U-Net by adding more encoder depth to with the new number of convolution channels by using post processing strategies, and also by using additional input channels with one hot encoding for foreground, which we already saw here, that using those additional things, it has improved the performance of the model. So this way, to enhance the result, we can use all these things. So thanks a lot.